Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen news and a bit of a recap, going over 3.3.0's progress, roadmap updates, bits from the RSI Newsletter, and a quick summary of the official CIG shows from this week, ending the 28th of October. So let's take a look at some roadmap updates and 3.3.0's PTU progress. So performance optimization and object container streaming are the only parts left on the roadmap for 3.3 to be finished. They're getting polished and tweaked in the 3.3.0 PTU currently. However, obviously that's a bit different when we actually go into the PTU, which is accessible now, and we can talk about exactly what's happening with that. So the PTU has been slowly testing features and hammering out bugs, and clearing out bugs is pretty much what the PTU is about, and then it goes to a live build. So VoIP and VoIP, face over IP, voice over IP, they've got to quite a good stage. There are definitely bugs with it sometimes as well. They need dialing in for 3.3. VoIP has been inconsistently working with certain patches, so it works with some, does not work with others, so obviously that needs to get fixed. Mission givers are intermittent at best. FPS AI have actually been getting a lot better. The Korea mission with FPS AI, where you've got to clear them out, whether they're security or outlaws, that's actually been getting better and better, more consistently being able to do that, and the AI is a little bit less derpy. But once we have access to all the mission givers and all the missions in 3.3 without these constant bugs, then it should be almost ready for live. The addition of the ship shop, that you can actually buy ships with Alpha UEC, that's actually now in 3.3's PTU, is a welcome surprise. That's Teach's shop on Levski. It's only got a few ships in there, but it's something to actually play for and reasons to play. Ships range from 70,000 all the way up to 1.6 million Alpha UEC. Turrets and gyro stabilization have been awesome as well. So turrets still need work, but they are magnitudes better than previous iterations. Object container streaming has given us fantastic frame rates as well, and was sorely needed for so long. The difference is night and day. Frame rates of 80 plus for me, even in the PTU, which is great. This is only the client side of the feature though. The server side part of the feature isn't complete and hasn't even been added to the roadmap yet, but I would suspect it to be done relatively soon. This will allow servers to be significantly more efficient and helps pave the way for more players per server and server meshing. So we don't need it in the same way that we needed client object container streaming, but it's still an important part of Star Citizen, getting it ready for prime time and being a pretty persistent, large-scale game with thousands of players in each area sort of thing. Beyond 3.3, 3.3.5 is in a pretty similar state feature-wise. Everything else on there should be going into polishing soon, and it should be released soon after, at least to PTU. 3.3 is. For 3.4, work has started on Lorville's business district. The moons around ArcCorp are starting to see completion as well, with Waller now in polishing, and Lyria should soon follow. 3.3 is currently in its PTU stage, with a live release of that coming as early as the end of next week, in my opinion, so around 2nd of November. Between then and maybe the 9th of November is what I'm expecting. 3.3.5 should go to PTU, potentially within a few days of that going live. It's mostly gameplay area for 3.3.5. It is a new mission giver as well, and some clothing and lots of NPCs and stuff. But it should hopefully have less bugs to deal with than we had with 3.3 because of object container streaming being super buggy in 3.3. But hopefully we're going to live build pretty damn quickly. Once that patch is out, we should have an updated roadmap with 3.7 added to it, and general more accurate updates for patches 3.4 to 3.6. So there's obviously going to be some movement with features. They're going to expand out some features. There'll be some new features that haven't been listed there that we'll be able to get in. So all of that should be done after 3.3.5 goes live. And we're getting Squadron 42 Episode 1's roadmap added in December to the main roadmap as well. Some stuff in the newsletter. There are 2 Halloween competitions from CIG that I'll link in the description below. A pumpkin carving one and a face over IP, make a scared or scary face. There are 3 prizes for each, 1st to 3rd, with a Valkyrie, a Connie Andromeda, and a Cyclone RC, all available and up for grabs. The newsletter this week also had a sneak peek at the Shipjacker armor, which is looking pretty cool and pretty anarchic, a bit weird. I quite like the actual style of this. CIG are still putting out the presentations from CitizenCon, and a couple of the second stage ones I have yet to see. I will add any new ones to my CitizenCon playlist and do summaries where appropriate, links below, but I'm very much looking forward to a couple of them, especially like the Alien Biomes one that I haven't seen yet. Around the verse, so this went over the first half of the gameplay demo from CitizenCon, and they looked at the crashed satellite and the work that went into that. They also talked about we're going to have more missions, more variation of missions in 3.3.5. We'll have different modular parts even to the same missions. So, for example, with the satellite mission, we could find the part we need literally when we go to the satellite, or we might have to track it down, and it could be in the underground facility like it was in the gameplay demo, but it could also be in an outpost. It could just be falling into a tree. Maybe a creature's got it, although we're unlikely to get any form of creatures in 3.3.5, but I'm giving you an example of how missions maybe have a different variety and elements to them. The game will start to feel a lot more tactile too. With 3.3.5, you'll be able to pick up and use items, inspect them, inspect weapons, inspect coffee cups, drink coffee, glug, glug, glug. Sometimes as part of missions as well, like with the gameplay mission with the satellite, that you did need to inspect the blades that you extracted to see which was the correct part. Reverse the verse. So with this, they continue to talk about the new flight experience that's coming with 3.4 at the end of December. It's a massive rework of the whole flight system. There are 3 rough types of ship flight in the new system: atmospheric, World War II style, low angular velocity sort of flight. This is going to vary in high atmosphere to low atmosphere. Obviously, gravity and all that sort of stuff is going to have a major effect on your ship. Main thruster-centric flight, that's going to be like lower strength maneuvering thrusters, and the typical human ship flight that we'll have in the verse, where you need to think more strategically and tactically about stopping, starting, throttling, slowing down, and that sort of stuff with your ship. Maneuvers will take a little bit more time than previously. You're not going to be able to just turn on the spot and go in any direction you want, just freely. There are also going to be those 6 degrees of freedom ships for like strafing and super maneuvering. They are going to be more of the Xi'an Scout styled ships. Everything else like pre-mode, cruise, SCM has all been unified with acceleration and velocity controls, allowing you to have much more control over your ship, but also accelerate up to your previous cruise speeds. You will lose maneuverability the faster you're going, basically. This is going to cause major changes to combat and how all of the ships work in space and atmosphere, and if you want to read more about that, I'll link my videos on the new flight model, because there's a lot of information to go over there. We won't 100% know how it's going to fly until it's in our hands. People are giving feedback on it already. People were able to test it out to some degree at CitizenCon, but a lot of the stuff that we know about it is just from word of mouth and from CIG at this stage. But we will get to test it, so and it will be balanced based on our feedback. So I suspect there will be a lot of back and forth and a lot of debate about what's good for the flight model and what's not. But we'll have to wait until it's in our hands and we're actually able to test it before we can give proper feedback on the systems. Next week, we'll see CIG get back into their stride with their typical video content, around the verse, reverse the verse, calling all devs. So expect a bit more news on those next week as well. And we may see the monthly report next week, but it's more likely to have it the week after, but we'll have to wait and see. If you'd like to discuss anything we talked about here, then please leave a comment below. I will check them out. My radar have provided a new Anvil Valkyrie to give away. All you need to do is to be subscribed to my YouTube channel and then comment on any of my Star Citizen videos made during October. My Radar is a mobile app for iOS and Android that provides up-to-the-minute weather information in the US, Europe, and Japan, with service in Australia coming in by the end of 2018. It allows Star Citizen players to view detailed maps of the moons in-game as well. Yela, Selin, and Daymar. A new version will be released this month that includes new features, including outpost markers and updated maps. Today's video is brought to you by F-Secure Total, premium cybersecurity for you and your devices. It includes safe and award-winning internet security suite, protecting you from ransomware, viruses, and while browsing the web. Freedom VPN, giving you net privacy, a way to access otherwise inaccessible content, while being secure and anonymous even on public Wi-Fi. Key, a password manager, allowing you to store your passwords securely and access them from any device. Total protects you and your device. You can try F-Secure Total, Internet Security, and Privacy Suite free for 30 days. You can also use the code BoredGamer to get 20% off a subscription. Check out the links below for more information.